6:25 right now. Karen Tillman's life changed 4 years ago. She was diagnosed with Hermansky Pudlak Syndrome, a rare disorder that caused legal blindness and bleeding. She didn't know, and she didn't allow this to get her down. In fact, she began to help others with the disease. Her work is why she is our Volunteer of the Week, and she is here with us today. Good morning.
Good morning, Rosemary.
So glad to see you. Explain exactly what Hermansky Pudlak Syndrome is.
Hermansky Pudlak Syndrome is an autosomal recessive disorder, genetic disorder, which includes albinism, a bleeding tendency, which can be mild to life-threatening. It varies in individuals. And things to look for early on are bruising. Usually there's a visual impairment, legal blindness. My vision is like 20, off the scale 400, something like that. And there are other symptoms that are a lot more serious, such as inflammatory bowel disease. It's very similar to Crohn's. And then there's pulmonary fibrosis. And those of us with HPS who've developed pulmonary fibrosis usually die in their 30s and 40s.
But you only found out just a few years ago that you had
4 years ago. I was misdiagnosed since birth. So if you have, or if you're an albino or you have albinism, Hermansky Pudlak Syndrome is something that you need to be aware of.
And I read here that about 7 people in North Carolina are known to have it, about 400 in the U.S., and only about 1,500 in the world.
In the entire world.
And you have reached out to a lot of these people through an online network.
We have a listserv where, you know, we get together. I check my emails every day, make sure nobody's sick. I have a website online, and of course the HPS network has their own website as well. And when a new family comes into the area, like this past summer, we had a girl in Virginia that came in and was very scared. She was 22 years old, just like me, had it since birth, but just discovered it at age 22, completely by accident. Found the HPS network online, started asking questions. Most of us are self-diagnosed. And
you have reached out to these people, and I know helped a lot of people in that way. Not only that, but you also work with doctors and kind of updating them on your condition, and you actually talk to them at Duke, is that right?
Well, I actually went to Carolina, and they came over the hill to Duke, which is a rarity in and of itself. But yeah, they actually saw me for one condition, and as the doctor was talking to me, he goes, "Well, I've never heard of Hermansky Pudlak Syndrome." And I said, "Don't worry, you're not alone."
Right.
And he invited me. He says, "We'd like for you to come back and speak." And of course, that's part of what I do. I raise awareness. If any college or whatever wants to get in touch with me, I'm glad to speak with them.
Okay, great. We're going to put a link so that people can find you on our website. Also, because I know you have lots of efforts going on trying to raise money in support of this as well. We'll put all that online for you because we are short on time. But if you're interested in volunteering, we can set you up with just the right opportunity. Call the Volunteer Center of Greensboro, 373-1633, or visit our website.